Azerbaijan. Do they want to ban Gwen now? They can pick it themselves because they are on the blue side.
Ooh.
I mean, you could make the argument for it. It doesn't really scream Lost Ratones to me, but I think it's a very good call and a realistic option.
Hell yeah.
But is it the first pick worthy, though? I think you have to accept that BAUS will be counter-pick here regardless. You might just want to slam the strongest BAUS pick you have available in your pool if you really want to go that route. I think the Gwen is an option as well. There are, I mean, a few good options. I think those are actually the main two I'm looking at. I think the Gwen is up there as well, yeah.
First pick, it could be the Gwen we've been talking about, or maybe you can lock in one of the AD carries that was locked in on the first game. Lucian was banned. Now, is there a way for you, Ruddy, to steal away the Nami? We've seen weird pairs with the Nami, but you can also bring something like the Milio, the Bard. We've seen Reckless play. It's not the best duo. Oh, here's the Vi. How do you pair the Vi? Like, what do you bring into the mid lane? The Aurora was one of the options you've been bringing up along the day, Duckling.
I mean, the LeBlanc here, I think it could work well, right? You can easily one-shot someone if you decide to so much pick potential on those two champions together. The Aurora I really like, but you could also just take the safe AD carry, right? They've shown their hand, now you show yours, and Kaiser, one of the few strong ones available with some mobility.
And you already have some all in. You already have the Vi who wants to go in. You already have the Kaiser who will be really happy to go all in with you. I want RUDDY to continue with this topic. Problem is, so many supports that could go so well for RUDDY right now are not available anymore. But we still have Nico, for example, that Marlon has played historically.
That's it. When Nico showed up for Peng, it was a game. But when Marlon played it without the items, just the technicality of bringing 6 minions in the wave, it changed it all. So Marlon can pull this up with the Nico. We have the perfect duo on the bot side, Nami and Lucian. Do you reveal the jungle right now, Velia? Or do you try to say something different? Because it's the first time today that we get to see LR actually leading the champion select and having Ruddy replying this. This is for Velia.
Okay, I mean, I guess that makes sense, right? You take that so you can you know, show your hand with the jungle. You know what you're going up against, the support match. So we have jungle and bot lanes pick. The Pyke, though.
It's locked.
I mean, that is crazy because you're taking the lane to the Lucian Nami, you know, one of the strongest 2v2s. You're saying, I'm taking the game to you. I think that's a bold move, but Marlon, I think he's been in his speciality when he plays these weird orthodox pick, like the, you know, the Bard as well, right? Where he does this unexpected. That's when he's always in his strongest zone.
The problem with that, though, is that picking Pyke on the bot lane is a double-edged sword. If your laning phase goes well and you get some kills, you're going to have insane value throughout the game because you're going to be a real threat to this bot lane throughout the whole game for Lost Ratones. However, if Pyke doesn't get kills, if Pyke doesn't get anything from the laning phase, he's a support. He doesn't get enough money in his pockets and he's not going to be able to do almost anything for the team later on. So RUDDY's bot lane needs to be very aggressive on the laning phase.
If you look at the way that RUDDY is building up, their engage is ridiculous. Everybody can go in a second. And that way, there's no doubt. You know what your job is, you go in. How can you reply as LR?
I mean, the biggest question I have now is, who do you counterpick for, right? You could try and look for the counterpick top lane for Gaethan, but at the same time, I'd really like Peng to get a preferable matchup here. So someone has to take the short end of the stick, and I think the Aurora, I mean, it's one of the safer blindables. You know the Talia is gone, you know the Poppy is gone. You won't be playing against these things that will constantly stop you from doing what you want. So I think it's fine to lock here. Getting Gaethan a priority matchup is, yeah, the key.
Doesn't have a lot of options left. However, we didn't really see Gaethan playing Gaethan champions throughout games #1 and #2. So hopefully this time, even with the Gwen and the fewer bans out, we are going to see some good options for him.
How do you stop the reset from the Pyke? You revive him. Nemesis is really dangerous with this one.
I mean, they're cooking. They're really cooking here. I like what I'm seeing.
JP JAX.
I mean,
there's other builds.
Banned the Volibear, banned the Gragas, the JAX is left on the table and it's locked in. I think Lost Ratones have a peculiar composition, but I like what they've got. They're able to stop the Pyke. If they win the 2v2, we'll be looking at the bot lane for once this series really as one of the main highlights to keep your eyes on. As now the counter matchup, this will need to be huge. And the Yorick has been something they've struggled a bit with before, has found its way into the meta as Gaethan, now finally going towards what we wanted to play.
But you can run away easily, even with the jail coming in from a Yorick.
Game number 3, Copenhagen. If LR take this, they play Nord tomorrow. Ruddy's hopes on the line. And we might open up with a brawl.
Not like this.
Not like this. Marlon's got Q. Gonna go for the bush check. He's gonna find BAUS immediately. BAUS counter strikes, gets the stun onto 2, and they're able to make their way out to safety.
That's an AP JAX loading, by the way.
Look at this!
Ooh.
You threw this little graphic together, Georgia.
I did. I'm very proud of this graphic, actually. I think it looks really cool. Do you guys think it looks cool? Because these are all 100% win rate champions from BAUS.
That's not this split, by the way.
That's the whole year.
That's all year long.
Only on the NLC, of course.
Yes.
No counting EMEA Masters, right? And these are champions with more than 1 games played. So there's multiple games on all of these champions. JAX, of course, centered, being one of them.
He's honestly put on such a phenomenal performance this year. And me and you were actually having a chat yesterday, because you're a big BAUS believer. I'm a massive Chachi believer. So if this series does end here...
Chachi's not here, buddy.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. If this series does end here, we get like 2 of the top players going toe-to-toe top lane. It's going to be huge. Now, we are going to have a quick look at where the junglers are starting. On that top side, so we'll be clearing downwards. I mentioned this because these are some bloody bot lanes. Lots of kill potential here.
I'm so sad I didn't see Nico coming out of Marlon right here. I feel like you gain so much space through Nico, so much priority. I mean, right here, of course, Pyke gives another flare to that bot lane with the Kai'Sa where it makes them more deadly, but that's after level 6. I feel like Lucian Nami takes such great trades into that Kai'Sa and Pyke, and primarily your target here is the Kai'Sa, not the Pyke. The Pyke can regen a bunch of that HP, but if you take really aggressive trades onto Nat on that level 2 where you can proc, oh, he doesn't have electric, it's lethal tempo onto the Lucian, you can really do some damage on that bot lane.
Well, looking for a hook here, Marlon, not going to find it. Level 2 ticks over for the side of Ruddy. And I do agree with your base point about the Pyke, but we also had a similar grievance with his champ select in game 2, and Marlon played very well on the Leona.
I just feel like the Ruddy bot lane doesn't play to win lane, they play to roam, right?
Yes.
And when Marlon was making all the plays in game number 2, now it makes more sense. With Pyke, you're very slippery, you're really quick on the map, you can actually create those plays for your team. I feel like if that Ruddy side composition does not pick up really early though, I really, really fear for them. Trundle is going to be quite tanky. You've got the Guardian Angel that we mentioned with Zillion later on, and not to mention all the buffs that are going to be thrown on things like the JAX and the Lucian to play those fights, right? So it's just going to get very, very tricky. There's going to be a lot of range also with Lucian, Nami, Zillion between them and Ruddy Sack, so it's going to be very difficult to close the gap.
There it is.
All right, let's talk Yorick. Because this is a very, very traditional matchup that you'll see over in the LPL. The Yorick will be picked, and then JAX will be picked into the Yorick. He does outskill Yorick. However, if Yorick does get ahead, he becomes an absolute nuisance. And we have seen how influential BAUS has been for the rest of the map when he joins them the past 2 games.
Yeah.
With the Quinn flanking, with the TPs on the side, etc. So if you leave your lane unattended and Maiden comes out, Yorick can quite literally take an entire lane by himself. Let's see if Gaethan will be able to get himself ahead in this particular lane, because usually Yoricks don't get much attention from the junglers, and I wouldn't want Natinat to play towards that. You have an Aurora mid, you've got a Kai'Sa and Pyke bot lane, you've got 2 lanes that can very easily set up for.
Well, seeing a little trade here between the bot lanes, but nothing too major. Marlon takes a dive, goes for a threat, but he is on a ward, so he misses that hook. Nata just continues to take a couple little bit more damage, poking out. Just getting a nice chunk off here. Natty gonna get spotted out by Nemesis on his clear. I'm looking for where that first kind of trigger is going to get pulled, right? Where is Natty, where is Velia going to make a move?
Very importantly, BAUS spotted the Krugs up, decided to reset right there. He knows jungler is passing towards the top side of the map. Very clever. Again, these are the things that we wanted to see development on, right? On the Node series, this didn't happen. That's where he was getting caught this time around. Very, very respectful. Resets, grabs more AP for his inventory, an extra ring, an amplifying tome. He hasn't changed too much after all.
Granny just continuing to get aggressive in the lane. Marlon once again going for the underneath, gets the hook off here. Doesn't really have much mana. Cranny's been ignited though. Barrier's been forced out. Marlon not going to go away. Gets the lockdown. Nata, can he find a little bit of extra damage? Flashes over the bubble. Nata secures first blood. Marlon takes a dip, heals back up. Beautiful play from Ruddy Sack's bot lane.
Again, you see the difference. Lucian Nami at poking lane. You get the poke down, you push people under tower, but if you allow Pyke to connect that Q, you've got the all-in potential. This gets even worse after level 6. They can dive into the backline, they've got the Pyke ult to execute you, so if you get caught without flashes, it's gonna be pretty tricky, and Crowny just lost both his summoners in this skirmish, and thank you so much, production. That's a fantastic timing to pop this one up, because Nata has not been showing up for the entire series, and we said this could be the game breaker for this series, Nata versus Crowny.
Yeah, Nata's numbers are absolutely mad. KDA may be a little bit lower, but good damage, good kill participation. Like, he gets involved, he gets into the mix of it. Crowny, maybe a little less so, but still consistent and doesn't really give up much. That's what you can really take from that graphic.
That's why we wanted to bring this up, right? Nata is a huge part when RUDDY gets success on the map. The Q's gonna miss, Marlon's out. Again, very, very slippery champion. Whilst this is happening, we've seen the reverse of the other two games. Now, Natinat gets the access in the river to grab that first dragon for RUDDY, getting that priority through the bot, burning the flash into Lucian. Fantastic stuff so far in that early game.
Yeah, really nice to see that as well, because normally it's actually lost RATONES who take those first dragons. We are seeing a fight, though, breaking out. Velia gonna have to throw some what damage out. Bubble does land here on to Natty. In jumps Marlon, goes for the flash, doesn't connect, though, with the lockdown, but they find the pop back, and Peng able to find the kill. Ruddy, 2 on the board. Nata continues to chase forward, gets a bomb on his head. Crowny's putting some extra damage in as the bomb goes off, and they're all going low. That's going to be the revive. Hook comes out, and Ruddy are going to be forced to run away. Marlon being hunted here, dashes away to safety. Ruddy incredibly low. Crowny will not be able to find another kill, but beautiful start here for Ruddy. 2 kills under their belt.
Just do the dragon! Just do the dragon! We mentioned how important the dragons are for the early game. You start stacking them, you have a reason to team fight later on. Okay. Every much a classic BAUS right here between tier 2 and tier 3. I will say, however, you got 1 kill onto Peng. I want to see the return from Ruddy. Reset. Peng right here is a little bit too late. He has to reset too late. Nat's getting pushed outside the jungle.
Oh, BAUS! He finds Natty! Natty flashes out. Nice little escape there. Unable to find the opener.
As Los RATONES bot lane is pushing right here. This is what I didn't want to happen for RUDDY. They overextend to try and fight instead of taking the dragon. Now they've lost complete control of the bot side of the jungle. Velia's taking the Grom. Mid lane's getting pushed in because Peng TP reset too late. And right now, all of the control, bot lane wave is being pushed in as well. So there's 2 waves, bot and mid. Control inside the jungle, lost. Gromp taken away, and a lot of control around that river has gone over to Los RATONES.
Yeah, Los RATONES, though, maybe losing some of that pressure here. In comes Marlon, misses the hook of the Nemesis. Nice slow coming out. Peng does have that W to break away. Bomb lands onto Marlon. Marlon, I don't think he has stash up, but he's going to be able to walk away before getting himself too caught off here. BAUS just getting a little bit of pressure thrown into him from Gaethan.
Here's the thing with the Yorick, right? He does like having a way with you.
Yeah.
BAUS has been denied that. Marlon is mid again. Another kill that misses, but the pressure's been put there, right? Nemesis does not have flash.
Yeah, Nemesis really struggling here to find anything off it. But the thing is it's... I heard the pain in that cheer. The thing is what are Los RATONES actually going to be gaining or losing for this? Because Marlon's putting a lot of pressure in, and yeah, it's losing a bit of farm over to Nemesis, but ultimately, they're not really losing all that much. I mean, there's a lot of pressure getting formed in that bot side. So Marlon probably, that was his last attempt he could throw down in the bot lane, as they're just gonna make their way over, try and defend that tower. And it's been a chill start.
Yeah, I feel like he needs to get his level 6 and abuse the fact that Crowny does not have flash. 2, 1, boom.
Timed that perfectly, you did. Well done. Alrighty, well, Marlon now making his way towards the bot side as Nata's just gonna shove the wave in. And honestly, Dragon getting started actually here from the side of RUDDY, playing that denial from Los
No
RATONES.
kills, just Dragon for now. This time around, only Dragon. Mid is pretty neutral. Velia's heading towards the bot side of the map, but again, bot lane priority going over to RUDDY. I'm looking at a level 6 for the Pike. This is where he becomes really, truly lethal. And you don't have a lot of defensive items on the side of Los RATONES to be able to withstand all the damage coming through from RUDDY, as well as saving multiple people. Resilient ult. It is this time going to be the Dragon, and BAUS is getting a little bit beaten up right here by the Yorick.
He's getting quite low. Gaethan actually may have enough for the solo kill. Maiden's doing the work. Feat of warfare as well. Gaethan with the solo kill. And as you can see, that might be one of the first times we see Los RATONES give up that first Drake. They take them all.
Look at Velia, he's playing into Fog of War. They haven't seen him yet. If they overextend, they could be the punish. One bubble is all that needs to land. get that triangle in. But RUDDY for now, they're not getting baited. Level 6 on the Pike.
Oh, Nata has to ult away there. Marlon looks for the lockdown. Good pillar comes in. Tied away from making his way forward. Natty jumps in. 1 kill already over. Bubble hasn't quite hit. Goes in with the ultimate. Nata's putting more damage down. He takes out Velia. Finds the Q. Onto Crowny. Nata flashes forwards. Crowny takes it. And RUDDY fumble the play. Double kill for Reckless.
We're in Denmark! Double kill for Reckless on the Nami. Obviously, just kidding. We were talking about RUDDY not getting baited. Velia was hiding in fog of war for so long, and the second Marlon hits that level 6, they feel confident enough to play the 2v2, which fair enough, they win that, if it is a 2v2, but it is not. Velia was around the corner. They do manage to get one back, but then again, the over-aggression came through and easily shut down.
Marlon! I don't think he's getting away. Crowny, that's his first kill of the game because Reckless got the double. Huge play there, picking him up while Nata was making his way to lane. We do see Nemesis getting heavily chunked out. We are seeing some fire in RUDDY finally in this series.
And that's exactly what we really wanted, right? Marlon got baited by the flash right there. Really great reactions by Crowny. Gets his Essence River completed from that play as well. As Velia is hanging around that top side of the map, he knows that Nat is playing towards there, but it is mostly the Void Grubs that they're focusing on. And you see how the Yorick versus Jax kind of works early game. Obviously, this is an AP Jax. As Marlon's around the corner, but I don't think they can do much.
Yeah, they are going to secure themselves a single grub, although in jumps Natty, goes for the smite. Gathan in the middle of everyone. Reckless finds himself caught by the hook and taken down. Gathan secures the kill. Marlon flashes over, finds the stun. Velia will fall. Gathan gets the double kill. Natty continues to chase forwards as he gets it. RUDDY are back.
They all assembled so quickly, and props to Gathan. He pre-charges the wall onto Reckless. That is a flashless Nami. Pins him in there, Marlon pulls him out, and they chase them one by one. They've got fantastic chasing ability. As Marlon's waiting around for possibly BAUS to overextend. It's not going to be the case, but another great fight, and this is going to be 2 Void Grubs secured right there for RUDDY. Marlon, can you get the Q?
Oh, misses the Q, unfortunately. BAUS able to break away. He actually jumps in, throws down the Grandmaster's might. Gets caught inside the cage, though, can't go for more. He does have flash, but I think that might be a little bit optimistic here. Just going to clear the wave away, head off. And the big thing about what we just saw from that play was they only denied a single grub. Yep. Los Ratones only took a single grub. RUDDY, after winning the fight, went back, finished up that second grub, as BAUS, looking for a proxy farm, has to flash away. Very close to going down.
Very nice pressure. Also on the other side, again, very much respect from Peng. And is that Nerves of Steel? You've got Flash, you got Ult, don't need to use anything from Nemesis.
There's a fine line between... There's a fine line between calculated and a mistake.
Ignorance and arrogance, is it?
Yeah, ignorance and arrogance.
All right.
Peng does a lot of damage.
So far, we have seen that RUDDY are playing again very, very aggressive, and you would expect this with this composition. We said if they fall behind, it's doomed. Suddenly, you get a Lucian with Essence River over in the mid lane. Anyone who walks up gets absolutely chunked down. They play 4 versus 5. Zillion saves, whoever dives in, yada, yada, yada. But right here, RUDDY have responded to every single play from Los Ratones.
Yeah.
And again, I have to give major, major props to Marlon for showing up.
Thrown down the realm, that's going to be the Resurrect coming out here from Nemesis, but that Chrono Shift is not going to do much. He flashes away from Marlon's lockdown. The calculation works out here as BAUS finds himself in a 1 versus 2. Grandmaster's Might's been thrown out for him. Hits level 11. Natty's going to chase forwards, and it's just able to make his way out. The wave distracts Gathan as BAUS, he's looping around. He's going for another proxy.
Yeah, I think he's got a global magnet on him right here, and I would love Natty to just forget that BAUS exists. You've just taken Flash and Ult from that Zillion. You're playing for the next Dragon. 5 seconds on the clock. Your team has already set up. I would love for Natty to just save ability, save time, head straight there, play together with Marlon. I feel like he has been fantastic the past 2 games. The TP coming through, that is going to be Nemesis, no Flash, no Ult, and a wave crashing in.
Throws down the bombs just to try and catch the minions as they're going to chase forwards. Nice escape from Nemesis, played that very smart. isn't really going to be able to catch much more of that wave, though, as actually the attention has shifted here for RUDDY. They're going to give up on the tower. They're going to turn their attention towards that Drake. This will be feat of strength for them, secured if they can get it. And I don't really think there's much of a contest coming in. I mean, BAUS is getting chunked out topside. Junglers doing camps, mid lanes, well, bot lane's mid lane. Yeah, RUDDY, take that for free.
Fantastic pressure. Marlon wrapping around, pushing Nemesis off the tower. Took his flash, took his ult. I feel like the unsung hero right here, Gaethan, has put so much pressure onto BAUS. When you don't let him do his thing and you are playing a Yorick, the second you move out of lane, your whole lane will be gone with a Yorick, with one Maiden out. Rocket Bell, of course, now completed.
Avengers.
For the JAX and Marlon, Natinat, Gaethan, all up top.
Oh,
Can
Minion.
they get him? That's the question.
Minion's going to block there. They've got the wave crashing in. They've got the Maiden. Gaethan's going to make sure this one can happen. Throws the cage out. BAUS trying to play the escape game. He's able to evade away on the queue. Chases forward. BAUS is locked down by the Vault Breaker, though. And X marks the spot. Gaethan secures the kill. Tower will crumble. Very well executed.
Very well played by Natinat. He charges the Q and misses on purpose so that Counter-Strike gets off cooldown. Because if you hit him and then you get Counter-Strike under tower, you're going to be stunned and take the tower shot. So well played by the Vi. Has to flash. Her flash is over.
Velia looking for Natty. I didn't think he was in danger. Finds back with the Q. That's going to be the kill. Gaethan answers out, though. A 1-for-1.
That Sundered Sky heal looked like it really saved Natinat right there. But that's a 5-0-1 Yorick. 1.5 thousand gold in the lead. And it's going to be so hard to shut him down and also stop him again on his side lane. RUDDY are playing so aggressive in this early game. 2,000 gold in the lead for themselves. Stacking the two dragons. It's going to be Ocean Soul as well, which... Playing a poke comp as Los RATONES are right now, you love Ocean Soul. You get poked, you heal it up, you turn around and fight.
Alrighty, well, see but RUDDY right now, just getting themselves back onto the map. Although Marlon is a long way away from any friends in the enemy red side. He's just gonna get himself a reset up, place some wards down, refresh, and get back onto the map. Got the Umbral Glaive finished up for himself, where Nata has that Quincy's Rage Blade, has the Static Shiv finished up. So it's two items where Crowny literally just on the Essence Reaver, closing in on their Flicker Blades as their next item, but not quite there yet. So Nata, a big power spike, and we've seen, you know, quite a lot from him already in this game. He's been popping off as Marlon gets himself potentially caught out here, but is able just to dash away to safety. Looks like all of the attention is now shifting towards that Herald on the top side.
And Gaethan is having such a good time into BAUS. Again, very, very close. That second item for Yorick. They got Crowny.
Gets caught by the slow, has to flash away. Tidal Wave thrown out as well. Nobody goes down, but the flash on Crowny is a big loss.
You see, Natinat, he's heading towards our bot side. Counter-Strike already used. If they can wrap around, it's just one press away from BAUS going down. They're not going to take that hit. I feel like, again, you take so much from Los RATONES right here. You take the flash off of Crowny. Play for that Rift Trail. Play for more for the neutral objectives. You've got the extra items. Balon, can he connect?
Oh, that was close. Crowny able to shift away, though. A lot of damage coming out from Nada, though. Starting to explode a little bit in power. As we do see the tower fall down in the bot side. Gaethan doing the Yorick thing of just constantly sitting inside lanes, blowing up towers. It's ironic seeing a JAX be a victim to that.
He's actually very deceptively good at team fighting as well. Yes. Specifically when the second item is going to be completed right here. He's got already his Trinity Forces. The mid lane tower is going to fall for RUDDY that they did catch them onto the rotation. But there you go, Hull Breaker. I think it pretty much signifies that there's not going to be much team fighting done. He's just want to play that 1v1
every 5 auto does extra damage to champions. Hull Breaker. No, he's not an attack speed champ, so not really going to be the most useful. I will say, I think RUDDY made a bit of a mistake going top lane when they could have turned their attention towards Herald. Like you said, they blew the flash from Crowny mid. They had the pressure, but honestly, with the fact that now Gaethan is here, I think they're quite happy just to cool it off, move back and get themselves control. Peng coming in as well, teleport available to him, so can come in if he needs to, has the ultimate up as well.
JAX does not have the teleport, so BAUS has to run all the way. They know they cannot contest that Rift Trail, they can't walk in, there's no setup for Los RATONES. What they do instead is they create pressure over in the mid lane, so RUDDY have to respond to that. Instantly RUDDY drop the Herald, they drop the River, and they head over into the mid lane. So again, you see how Los RATONES shift pressure on the map. As Gaethan's now over to the top side of the map, continuing his siege. And a lot of attention has gone to the bot side river for Los Ratones. This is going to be sole points for RUDDY if they do commit for this dragon, if they do get this dragon. Oh my god, this tower's gone, it's gone.
I mean, that's just Yorick gaming, isn't it? Velia can't even really do much.
Jailed.
Caught in the jail. Got the monkeys on him as well. That's a nice chunk out. They're just going to back off. RUDDY playing a controlled game. This is what I wanted to see from them. It's been a bit of a brawl for the last 2 games. They are controlling the map versus Los
Now
Ratones.
what's this? Trundle shows top. That's a free dragon. That is sole point for RUDDY right here. Second items are slowly coming through. You mentioned the Wraith Blade. We have the Hull Breaker. Second item's going to come really soon. Full Peng as well. Most likely the Shadow Flame in his inventory. And it's really going to hurt. Again, there is so much squishiness on the side of Los Ratones. This Trundle doesn't really have any target to drain defenses from. So he's going to be a very, very squishy Trundle.
He is going to be potentially blown up very quick, as we do see Natty getting interrupted on his reset. Los Ratones are actually chasing here onto Natty, but Natty
is gone.
He's able to get away. I mean, there's not really like a major cost here for Los Ratones to go for that. It's not one of those kind of over-eager chases we have seen from them previously. Although I say that, Gaethan is completely uncontested bot lane with a very weak tier 2 tower, and he's already ahead over his opponent. It's a 1.5k gold lead for Gaethan over BAUS. As Marlon getting heavily chunked out here, has to jump away. BAUS flashes in, locks down Peng and Nata. Nata's low HP, has to flash the wall himself. BAUS can't go for the ward hop. They're not able to get the damage off, and ultimately they're going to lose the tower. RUDDY successfully disengage.
2 flashes lost for 1 tower on the top lane. Top lane tier 2 got taken down by Gaethan, and I think when you make trades like this, you just have to see if the flashes were worth in the next fight to come.
Yeah.
Does BAUS get a huge counter-strike? This time around doesn't have to splash to commit for that one, right? Does someone manage to get into the backline? A big bomb potentially from Nemesis landing. This is where the flashes really lose their value for being used in the previous iteration. This time around, though, it's going to be a handshake. Atakan, 4 Reef Herald. I kind of like this handshake right here from RUDDY because they do have that mid lane still standing up.
Yeah.
So they could potentially use that Herald to take down that mid lane tier 1.
Well, there's the Herald down. They may actually just use Nata to take it. As RUDDY, Gaethan, unaware of where everyone is. I think he's in danger. Caught by the slow. Got the double bomb locked down. Tide away thrown out. Gaethan incredibly low here, worth a lot of money as Crowny gets himself the shutdown. Very patiently played.
1,080 gold into already and 2 items on this Lucian. Flicker Blade completed as well.
And with that gold, he's just closed the gold gap and taken it over for himself. So nice little pick up there.
Not a lot of respect zone right there from Gaethan. Had his flash, but I think when you're 1 versus 4, there's not much you can flash. Might as well keep it for later. The push came through though. Mid lane tower taken away from the side of RUDDY, and this is nothing but over. This game is nothing but over. There's a lot of scale on the side of Los Ratones. You're looking at 3-item Lucian, Infinity Edge very, very close. You just gave him 1,080 gold. That is almost an entire BF sword.
Yeah, he's got a big spike off the back of that one, and coming back into the game now, obviously, one thing to kind of look at is how does the range affect? Because Lucian, relatively short-range ADC, right?
I would like to see the rapid fire coming through, but this is not really what they're going for, right? They're going more for team fights, for more consistent damage coming through with the Flicker Blade.
And the big concern is right, if you're jumping in as Lucian into as a squishy champion into this, you got to jump into a Pike, into a Aurora, into the Vi most scarily is. I'm going to have to interrupt that because they're jumping in. The lockdown there. Nata goes forwards for the kill. BAUS jumps in, finds the lockdown onto 2, gets the chrono shift off as well, jumps out. It's a 1-for-0 for Los Ratones.
That was a very great engage right there from Los Ratones. Good counter engage by RUDDY, but I think Marlon missed his ult on the key target, so the execution did not go through from the Pike. And right here, Los Ratones, they have numbers advantage. Nata no flash.
Caught by the pillar, no ultimate available. Crowny takes the kill. I'm pretty sure that's the IE finished up for him. And this Lucian spiking hard as Marlon is on the hunt and interrupts into Velia, finds the lockdown. Peng gets a whole heap of damage off. He just deletes the Trundle.
This Trundle only has armor on him, just finished Deadman's, he's got steel caps. Aurora hurts. Like Shadow Flame being completed as second item as well. You get hit again. This Trundle is not a very tanky champion. It's quite squishy. Infinity Edge now completed for Crownie as well. This Lucian is gonna really hard hit. And again, RUDDY are gonna have to be very, very selective. That was the problem in game number 2. They couldn't select the champions correctly and they run into very tricky scenarios. Whilst the aggression was correct, the champ select was not.
Now, I really like this. We're seeing the Herald thrown down in the top side with Gaethan. Dragon spawning up bot side, so they're going to shift all of the attention over. Yeah, Maiden, Herald, Yorick with the Hullbreaker. You will sacrifice so much.
As well.
I mean...
Banner of Command.
Oh, the worst. I loved it, actually. But this is so good for RUDDY, because all they have to do is buy time. Like, they can give this dragon up. They lose nothing for losing this dragon. Yeah, they lose Soul, but like, all they're doing is slowing Soul down and opening the base up in response. RUDDY just have to play this super carefully as Gaethan gets in. I think he misclicked a little bit there. It's just going to jump away.
I think he tried to threaten the tower, because if you do dive and he gets stunned.
They're jumping in onto the backline. Natty is blown up. Velia finds the kill. Peng has to jump the wall. Marlon getting that locked out. Big, big mistakes coming in from the side of RUDDY. All they had to do was pressure topside and play it chill. They give Dragon, and they probably don't take this tower either off the back of that one. Although, Gaethan, I don't know if Nemesis really has the ability to stop him. Yeah, he's got Demolish. He's got Hullbreaker. Whoa. That tower's down. Inhibitor will be left open for now, not taken.
And this is why we were raving about the 3 dragons that RUDDY have taken. Because now with these 3 dragons, they can buy time for Gaethan to absolutely demolish the lanes, quite literally. Yeah. Talking about demolishing in Gaethan, they're looking to demolish him.
There's the pillar to find the lockdown onto him. Gaethan is getting absolutely exploded. Big heal comes out from that Q, but it's not going to be enough. Velia takes the kill, and that could be, like you said, Baron. RUDDY are trying to finish BAUS up in the meantime. Marlon chasing in, they find the lockdown. He misses the ultimate. BAUS jumping away. Peng has to flash in for the kill. I don't know if they can interrupt this, though. Natty's in the area. Can he make the hero steal happen? There's no vision, actually, for Lost Returners behind the pit.
They have to give it up. They have to give it up. If they can't stop him from getting into the pit, they have to give it up. Super low on mana for Nemesis as well.
Good pillar into the double bombs onto 3. Big lockdown. Velia's going to chase forwards. In comes the tidal wave. Goes through the goalposts. Lost Returners get healed up by the redemption. And RUDDY just going to quickly grab the wave, grab pressure, and back off.
The resets are coming through from the side of LR. Nemesis, Nemesis, Nemesis!
In the middle of RUDDY, caught in the lockdown. Chrono Shift forced out. Can the rest of the cavalry come in time? No, they can't. Nata will take the kill.
And let's see how much control they can gain over here. Gaethan TP's in. This could be the Baron we were looking at. 45 seconds for Nemesis. BAUS just about came up.
Crownie getting heavily chunked out. They didn't quite get enough burst off. BAUS is in the area.
He TP'd over the top lane, completed the Riftmaker. This is some pretty low HP bars for Nata, not a low mana bar for Nata.
Could be dangerous. They've got Peng on one flank, they've got Marlon just playing flank on the other. They're going to immediately jump in onto Reckless, but the culling comes out, and Nata is deleted. Gaethan's trying his hardest to hold this one as Nata has to disengage. Natty trying to find that opening, find a massive chunk out. Gaethan flashes forwards. They're going to jump and try and finish up Crownie, but Crownie's just playing around the edge. Marlon misses the ultimate. That's going to be a kill for Crownie. Gaethan pinned in place. BAUS locks them down. RUDDY have the game in their hands, and they drop the ball. Teleport coming in. Peng has to 1 versus 3. Caught by the lockdown, caught by the pillar. Lost. RATONES are back in the game.
Not like this, RUDDY, you can't do this. Not like this. The overchase that we doomed LR for. They do this right here. They jump onto Reckless and it doesn't work. Reset. Pressure B buttons, let Baron be. There's low HP bars and Lost Returners, and Gaethan flashes in. What does that do? It forces his jungler to flash in. It forces Marlon to go in, and even though they think they have the HP bars low enough, Marlon misses. Lucian stays alive, and the rest of LR clean up anyone that's left behind.
Really, really nicely played there by Lost Returners as we come out of the replay. We'll see if the Baron has been taken. Lost Returners have got that now under their belt, and the gold lead.
It can't be like this. It can't be like this.
Heartbreak here for RUDDY. Not done. This game is far from over. They've still got a lot of power that they can play through Gaethan, but Crowny, 4 items in. He's got them more now, which means that Peng's one-shot assassination not going to quite be there, where Natter, 3 items in, hasn't got defensive item either.
As well, right? Like the AP items coming through, most likely voice up for something. Crowny?
Crowny able to do a fair amount of damage there to Peng, but actually gets answered back out onto Velia, getting chunked as well underneath the tower. Crowny's doing his best just to get some damage onto this tower, try and open it up, but Natty's been pulled over. Gaithen being a nuisance in the side lane here. They're going to throw the tidal wave down. Natter is annihilated. The slow is too much. And I think Los Ratones might just be looking for the end here. They've got the Baron. Gaithen going to be getting pulled back. BAUS has had to reset and defend top lane. So maybe that's enough to just force them away for the moment.
That's a great rotation right here. BAUS pushed the wave, TP'd back, sorry, reset back, went for the wave that Gaithen was pushing. Then Gaithen has to reset because they lost a member. And BAUS did the hard work right there. He pulled the wave up, but that's all Los Ratones are going to be able to get. That bot lane tier 2. And that is now a 4,000 gold lead for the Rats and a bunch of items completed. Marlon is looking.
Dragon's up soon as well. If he can find that chunk, if he can find that opening for his team, they can get that Ocean Soul and they have that little bit of extra survivability. We're seeing that Peng finishes up his death cap now. But I don't think they can really do much but let this Dragon fall. Again, it's not even soul point here. RUDDY have had good control of the Dragons this game, so it sucks to lose, but it's not going to be a game loser here. What would be a game loser is overcommitting for something you can't fight as Nemesis. Just going to force the Banshees out from Marlon.
Edge of Night, really strong right there. Yep. You know, get instantly stunned, but the cooldowns of Zilean are super, super short.
Yeah.
And you've got the reset button on your W, so if an E lands, QWQ will land as well. Crowny with insane poke onto Gaithen. Someone has to defend mid lane from RUDDY as well, and Los Ratones will take that chance to push that wave on the tower.
RUDDY were thinking about looking for a play. They do find a cage onto Crowny. He just dashes out to safety. Tower slowly but surely being whittled down. Baron will be falling off about now here for the side of Los Ratones. So RUDDY going to be able to hold on. The nice little hook on the Velia, nothing too major. They do lose the inhibitor very quickly though. Gaithen doing his best to hold the line. And RUDDY, they're not out of this game, but every second just feels rougher and rougher. That was a 4,800 Baron power play.
They're not out, but they have definitely been beaten down on this one.
Yeah.
I feel like Peng is doing insane amounts of damage on this Aurora, and every time he connects, I just feel like there has been a complete disconnection from RUDDY right here. Every single time Natinat presses R, he's either too early or too late, or the champion selection is not correct, and RUDDY are not willing to follow that up. And you know how I feel about a Vi that has no follow-up, no aerial follow-up, no body follow-up, no nothing. That's a naked Vi right here.
Yeah.
And Natinat is 1 and 5 on that Vi for that reason.
He has not been able to find the impact, unfortunately, on that one. Where Velia, really solid game on the Trundle. Even with, you know, no true tanks to get maximum value out of the Subjugate, still making it work. The pillar placement into the bombs, into the slows. It's so hard, but if one ability hits you, one of these slowing abilities from Los Ratones, you can't get away.
This is going to have to be RUDDY plus defense right here. Huge wave coming in from the bot lane. BAUS escorting the mid lane wave, and now he's going to join most likely the bot wave as well. He's constantly been pouring these waves inside RUDDY space, and they have to respond, which means the last outer tower defense is going to fall to the hands of Los Ratones, and I think RUDDY right here are going to have to make their last try for defense in this game.
BAUS is in the mid. Massive chunk out of the health bars there. Huge burst from Peng, but BAUS is coming on the flank. He's going to get caught by the lockdown. Not going to let that happen. Nice play.
The base.
Peng looking for the damage, but the base is open. They need to defend. Solid kill, though, for the side of RUDDY.
Props to Peng right there. He absolutely chunked Los Ratones. He single-handedly saved that siege from happening. He single-handedly saved the game for now.
It's a solid hold, but they need to carry on. They've lost the tower. They will respawn these Nexus towers. One of the nicer changes of this split. But it's just about catching that gold, catching that, catching those waves. And now the 3 items are finished up onto Natter. Got a crit bloom, so like you said, it is the full AP build. 4 items in, but on the other side, it's a max build Lucian. Rapid fire's finished up.
Finally, the rapid fire came through as well. I mean, the poke and the range from the Lucian the second he dashes in, right, is insane. I feel like a lot of it relies on Peng, again, connecting with that Aurora. He does so much damage. Nat's looking, he's been revealed with a pillar.
Yeah, I think he's going to decide to move away from this one, give up that red
I don't think you want
buff.
to throw for a red buff.
It may look for a bit of damage. Oh, Velia losing about a third of his HP. W
That was
coming in.
half his HP until he got healed.
Yeah, a lot of healing from Reckless here, healing Velia up. But Nata now, with that full AP build, can throw out a lot of Ws. As BAUS could potentially be the one getting hunted. Marlon not going to pull the trigger, not going to go for it. The waves, other than the top wave, are actually in a good state right now for the side of Ruddy Sack, so they can look to try and just skirmish and force out something.
All
Maiden,
7.
not long for the world, sadly, as Crowny just going to throw down the culling onto Gathan. Gathan actually evading a lot of it. In jumps Natty to try and play the hero, but he is going to get blown up. Reckless takes the kill, looking down onto Nata. Nata will be taken out. BAUS finishes him up. 2 members of Ruddy Sack remain. Gathan caught by the slow, throws the cage in, gets caught by the bombs, and pop goes Gathan. BAUS will take another kill. Marlon will be locked down as well as he jumps over the wall, got the bombs on his head. BAUS will just flash after him. There is the ace for Los Ratones. The base will fall. 35 minutes on the clock. Los Ratones are going to finals.